It is with a profound sense of gravity and after decades of meticulous observation of the human soul that I share with you a discovery of a most unsettling nature. I have come to identify a specific and formidable potency lying dormant within those solitary figures who walk their path alone. While the collective gaze of society perceives them as mere outcasts, as fragmented or maladjusted beings, I have come to see them as perhaps the most psychologically robust individuals who have ever drawn breath. What my investigations revealed concerning those who maintain no circle of friends was not merely controversial within our field. It was a truth of such dangerous implication that I have felt compelled to warn my fellow psychiatrists and psychologists to handle such individuals with the utmost caution. The risk bordering on trepidation. The common judgment you see is swift and uncharitable. The loner is antisocial, broken, damaged in some fundamental way that renders him unfit for the human commune. But my research, my countless hours delving into the clinical files and the living histories of such persons, uncovered a reality that threatens the very foundations upon which we have constructed our understanding of human relationship. I have been led to the inescapable, the terrifying conclusion that it is not the withdrawal from society that constitutes the sickness. Very often, it is the forced and frantic socialization itself. The loner in his quiet defiance may in fact represent something that the slow, blind hand of evolution has been attempting to sculpt for millennia. Thus, the pressing question is not, as the crowd would have it, why some individuals choose to walk alone. The more piercing, more revelatory inquiry is this. Why is everyone else so mortally terrified of solitude that they will willingly endure the most corrosive, the most toxic of relationships rather than face the silent, vast continent of their own being? My clinical records reveal a disturbing and consistent pattern. Those individuals who kept no friends were not, as we assumed, suffering from a deficit of social capacity. No, they had developed, often through immense unconscious suffering, a kind of immunity to the most potent force governing human behavior, the group mind. They had become resistant to that herd instinct, that desperate need for validation from the external other, to those psychological chains that bind most people in obedience to the agreements of the collective unconscious. Agreements they never consciously examined or chose. A true loner cannot be manipulated by social pressure because he genuinely does not seek, does not require validation from the group. I have come to name this state psychological independence. Most men and women walk through life under the illusion of autonomous choice. But my life's work proves otherwise. Through my formulation of the collective unconscious, I have demonstrated that the greater part of human behavior is unconsciously synchronized with the expectations of the group. People attire themselves alike. They adopt similar thoughts and they make choices that feel intimately personal but are in fact collective patterns absorbed from the psychic atmosphere without their awareness. Consider, if you will, the last meaningful decision you made. How much of it was influenced by what others might think? Which career path would appear most impressive? What manner of relationship would be deemed acceptable by your family or peers? What opinions must you voice or silence to maintain your position within your social circle? The average person makes dozens of these unconscious calculations each day, never realizing that he has thereby surrendered the helm of his life to invisible judges who never sought such power. The loner exists outside this entire system, not out of a spirit of rebellion, but because he was never properly plugged into its circuitry in the first place. His psyche developed along a different trajectory. While other children learn to regulate their nervous systems through the approving smiles and laughter of the group, the loner's nervous system was compelled to learn the art of self-regulation through solitude. When other youngsters needed the chorus of their peers to feel acceptable, the loner found a way to feel acceptable in silence. When other adolescents required the constant mirror of friendship to confirm their identity, the loner discovered a form of validation through internal coherence, through the agreement of the self with itself. This development creates something that terrifies those who wield power through social pressure. An individual who cannot be threatened with exclusion, for he never truly valued inclusion. He is an observer who watches the group without feeling the primordial pull to join it. I documented this pattern across dozens of cases, and what I found forced me to a chilling realization. I was not merely studying a form of mild psychopathology. I was studying the only human beings who had, by accident or design, escaped the invisible prison that holds all others captive. The loner is, in this sense, a dangerous observer, much like the archetype of the empath I have described. The loner watches and collects data on human behavior with a detached, almost scientific precision, while the rest of the world participates in the grand social theater, performing their allotted roles and maintaining their necessary masks. The loner sits outside the procession. From this vantage he sees not the drama, but the machinery that makes it function. He perceives the lies people tell themselves, the cavernous contradictions between professed virtue and actual deed, and the repetitive patterns that play out across different groups, different families, different eras. While others are busy performing, the loner is learning. I came to understand that these individuals often develop a degree of social intelligence that exceeds what most people achieve in an entire lifetime. They develop it as spectators, not as actors. The loner notes that the person who preaches most fervently of family values is secretly betraying his spouse. He sees that the friend who claims unwavering support is the very one who offers the subtle, undermining comment in a group setting. He recognizes that the colleague who smiles in meetings is the same one who sabotages projects behind closed doors. Please subscribe for more videos.